Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening, the one, the only, here he is, Earl Nieto. Earl, how you doing this evening? How are you doing this evening? What did you think of Great American Bash? Obviously, there's a SummerSlam this weekend. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I've had wrestling on my TV since last night. So on YouTube, they have like a marathon going on right now about all the SummerSlams that have been happening. So I'm pretty stoked about wrestling. My life is great right now. Wrestling on. Spoiler alert: Sam Hamilton suspended. So yeah, my life is great. I can't complain anymore if I wanted to. No one's gonna listen anyways.
Sam Hamilton will of course be serving a suspension this weekend for his double yellow card picked up on Saturday evening. I didn't watch too much of Great American Bash. I know, Dom retained his title. I know there's some big matches coming up this weekend at SummerSlam. What are you looking forward to on Saturday night?
I'm hoping my audio didn't just give out. No, perfect. So what I'm looking forward to this weekend is I'm really looking forward to the tribal, whatever the hell they're calling it, tribal battle, I drew a blank.
Tribal combat, is that what they're calling it?
Tribal combat. I knew it was something. I just didn't know what they're calling it. So tribal combat, I am excited for that. I'm loving the whole bloodline, the bloodline saga, I guess is what they want to call it. Just has me going berserk with it because you never know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of storylines. Obviously, I think Cody's got a match Saturday night. I think Seth Rollins has a match. Did Kevin and Sammy have a match?
Kevin and Sammy do not have a match because Kevin Owens has broken ribs. So if you watch this past Monday night of Raw, he got written off because of his injury. So Sami Zayn won't be competing for SummerSlam, which kind of is a bummer. I like Sami Zayn. I like Kevin Owens. I like Kevin Owens' tenacity and fierceness. And then the Cody Rhodes match, we all know I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I was there when he returned. I was at WrestleMania when he returned. So I'm a huge, huge Cody Rhodes fan. Seth is also a Cody Rhodes fan because he grew up like next door to him or some shit like that.
Pretty much.
He also polished the jockstrap of Roman Reigns. Rumor has it. Something about Georgia Tech, and I don't know. I don't know all this for the sorority and fraternity stuff. So don't ask, don't tell, I guess.
In my opinion, one of the greatest players to ever come out of Georgia Tech. So,
he's also one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So,
that's what writing does for you.
When you go from being jobbed by John Cena and being torn apart by John Cena on air to having your own promos and being the face of WWE, you're doing something right.
Yeah, he's clearly done something. He's made himself into a household name. I actually saw a clip earlier. I guess he and Paul Heyman were on First Take at some point. Was that recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks back that they were on First Take, and like I said, he's became what John Cena was back in the mid 2010s, where it was John Cena everywhere. John Cena on the movies, John Cena on The Late Show, John Cena on you name it, he was there.
I've got two more questions before we move on from the WWE talk. First of all, is Paul Heyman the GOAT?
I've always loved Paul Heyman. Always. Nobody knows this, so breaking news for everybody listening and watching right now, which I don't know how many people we have on right now. I know 2 people are on Facebook. One's me. So there's one other person on Facebook somewhere in this little universe that we have going on. My favorite pay-per-view, and it was a pay-per-view back then, of all time, was Invasion, where it was WWF at the time, WWE, facing on the alliance of ECW and WCW, owned by WCW is owned by, the contract said McMahon, but it also said Shane McMahon. As he sported his cool turtleneck in the heat of Tampa, Florida. Props to that guy. I mean, Shane McMahon is probably the greatest of all time of anything. The man voluntarily jumped off of a 50-foot Hell in a Cell just for views. So, I mean, Shane McMahon does it all, so I'm okay with that. And then ECW was owned by Stephanie McMahon at the time and Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman's always been one of my favorites. He's always done what was asked of him. He got beat the shit out of by Brock Lesnar, then turned around and got beat the shit out of by Roman Reigns, and then turned on Roman Reigns to go back to Brock Lesnar, to turn on Brock Lesnar, to go back to Roman Reigns. Because this is a PG show, I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Alrighty then. Last question. Who is the better heel at the moment? Dominic Mysterio or Logan Paul?
Dominic Mysterio, hands down.
You think
hands
so?
down. He's a kid. He's still young. He still has a lot of work to do, talent-wise, wrestling-wise. He's not a bad wrestler by any means of the definition of the word, but he does have some work to do to become the great. But the fact that he night in and night out just plays the part of anything handed to him. He was handed Rey Mysterio's little son, to where he had to deal with that and then turn around and became a heel in a blink of an eye by kicking Edge in the nuts and then clotheslining his own father. And then just putting him in with Judgment Day, where you have formed big name wrestlers such as Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. You can't grow any more from that. I mean, that's that.
All right. Speaking of heels, Saturday night, Orange County, New Mexico United losing 1-0. Who's the bigger heel of the match? Sam Hamilton or Milan Elaski?
This one's tough because Milan Elaski, obviously, he's scored on the United before. When it comes to Orange County, you can almost guarantee Milan Elaski will score. He scored a couple years back in like 5.5 minutes or some stupid number, some disgusting number. Like the match just started and he was already scored. The fact that it took him 70 minutes to score or 80 minutes to score, whatever the number it was, it's kind of surprising, but I expected it. I expected Milan Elaski to score. I know I predicted a clean sheet last week, but for the second week in a row, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. So Milan Elaski scores, but then we all know how I feel about Sam Hamilton. I texted you guys right away as soon as it happened. Why? I don't know what to say about that, because, I mean, I could say it till I'm blue in the face. Why Sam Hamilton makes that kind of play, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's trying to stop a 1v1 opportunity against Tambakis and whoever the hell it was, Elaski, I think, was going at him. Regardless of who it was, it could have been Jesus himself.
It was Tomas
Among. Regardless of who it was, like I said, it could be Jesus himself. It could be fucking Joe Biden for all I care. I don't even know how to put words in it. But what I do know is, and I've never played professional soccer in my life, so I'm not the person to speak on this, but you don't tackle the last man going for a goal scoring opportunity and expect to get away with it.
I mean, typically, no. That's not the ideal situation. Obviously, we're talking about Sam Hamilton getting the red card in the 7th minute of stoppage time in the second half. And clearly a tactical foul by Sam to try to prevent the break by Among. Among, after he came on in, I want to say it was right after halftime, because McNulty randomly
He came
went
on like the 60th or
49th.
65th minute.
It was the 49th minute because
49th, okay.
Yeah, McNulty went off randomly, and I was kind of thinking, like, why didn't they just make that substitution at halftime? Because it used up one of their windows.
I get why he did it. I understand. Sam is a team player. I get it. And he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave Alex out there picking flowers. That's for sure. 1v1 against Among, against Olaski. I wouldn't put my odds against that any day of the week. But the fact that he did it kind of put us in a worse situation than what we already were. If you watched the match, you had Sam all night pressing forward. Shit, he was even taking shots on target. So I get it. But by him committing that foul, he left and Christina, you're probably 100% right there. If it wasn't a loss, it was going to be a draw. So Christina I'm sure he knew he'd get a card, but the timing wasn't worth it. They were going to lose anyways. It's never the right time to commit a terrible foul like that. So back to what I was saying, he left us in a worse situation than what we already were. Yeah, we're facing a loss. We're facing a 1-0 deficit in the 80th minute. But by doing that, you still have 10 to 15 minutes to play. So in essence, essentially he left Kalen out there as a lone ranger to guard the entire back line on his own because our wingbacks push forward. I don't even know what to say. It was a boneheaded move, and that boneheaded move was probably about as big as a unicorn horn.
Yeah, it really, I mean, obviously, Sam is a very intelligent guy in terms of his footballing IQ. He knew what he was doing. He knew that he was trying to stop that attack there. I mean, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure that he knew that he was the last defender. I mean, either way, it would have resulted in a yellow card because of the tactical nature of the foul. But I mean, yeah, at that point in the match, 7th minute of stoppage time, there really wasn't a whole lot that we could have done at that point. It's not like it happened, in the 70th, 80th minute, somewhere in there where you still have time. But, looking at the performance as a whole Saturday night, and the first thing that comes to my mind outside of our lack of ability to get anything on target, 12 shots, 2 on target, is what was the substitution theory of Eric Quill on Saturday night?
I was wondering the same thing. I was sitting there 65th, 70th minute, wondering when a sub was going to come in. Finally, we get one about the 82nd minute, I think it was.
79th was the first, and then the 84th was the second.
Yeah, I was right on target right there. Crazy use of subs. I mean, we used 3 subs all night?
3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jane, the substitution theory, if that's a sarcastic question, exactly.
Oh, it absolutely is.
We didn't use any substitutions until it was too late. They scored in the 70-something minute, and then we still played for 10, 15 minutes trying to figure out what's next. No, I believe the red card happened in the 80th or 81st minute.
It was the 97th.
Oh, it was late in the match? Okay.
Yeah, it was like the 97th minute, yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that. So my apologies, everyone. I was wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's not like it happened in like the 70th or 80th minute. It was the 7th minute of stoppage. But yeah, you look at the substitutions. I mean, obviously you wait until the 80th minute to even make your initial change. I mean, 79 technically, but yeah, I mean, you heard even heard the Orange County announcers, who I thought weren't terrible by any stretch of the imagination. They were saying that it was curious then. They thought that maybe it's, he thought we were looking good. And I mean, we had opportunities going forward. We put shots out. We just couldn't put anything on target. But yeah, it was just, I didn't understand it. you've got, before we even made our first change, Orange County had gone through all 3 of their windows, made all 5 subs, and had fresh legs at that point.
Yeah.
By the
so
75th
my question for you now, and really anyone in the chat, 95th minute, you're facing a 1-0 deficit with a potential 1v1 situation against your keeper. What's worse? Going down 2-0 or losing your captain for the next match? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to justify the thought process of what Sam was doing. I don't want to just throw him under the bus as much as I'd like to. I don't want to run him over with that same bus twice. I want to fully understand from the soccer people who understand it more than I will, what's worse? Going down 2-0 in a match that you clearly already lost, or losing your captain for 1, and if the USL wanted to, possibly 2?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, again, obviously Sam, believed he was making a tactical foul, which he did. He had just made another foul, about 20 minutes earlier that had given him his first yellow card. But yeah, I mean, losing captain for the next match is obviously a bigger deal than going down 2-0 at that point, if you ask me. I mean, maybe his thinking was that, he makes that stop there, we get a chance to get the ball back and maybe make one last attack. I don't know. But I mean, realistically, I think the referee even blew the whistle before, like right after we kicked the ball off after that. So, I mean, there really wasn't any time left. But yeah, it was an unfortunate decision by Sam to make that tackle. Like, I get why he did it, but the timing, the positioning, like it really didn't work out in his favor at all. And
yeah, 100%. I understand why he did it.
Yeah. I
just don't understand the timing of it, and I don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's, Among, since he came in, had been giving us fits. His pace down the right wing was just absolutely tremendous for Orange County. I had Milan Alowski as my player to watch for Orange County last weekend, and the 2 of them together just absolutely deadly. They really were. Among's pace really did a number on us, and again, tactical foul, trying to break the attack earlier in the match. I get it; it's a yellow card, and it really was a yellow card there as well. I think. Let me double check. I want to say they gave him a straight red.
Yeah, it was not a second yellow. It was a straight red because it was a denial of goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I put too when I was tweeting. So yeah, last defender. I mean, I think maybe Sam thought he wasn't the last defender, and so he could potentially get away with a yellow there. But either way, it's a send off at that point because of the earlier yellow card. But yeah, just a really silly decision. Now. Fortunately, it does give us a chance, I think, more likely to see Kyle Colonna again on Saturday. So, Christina, no, not in this situation. I will double check the rules, but I believe in this case, I'll double check. I don't know what Earl's doing. But let me pull this up here. I'll look at the media guide because it does have the information in there. I don't remember exactly.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. I had to step away for a couple seconds. I missed what you said.
I was looking to answer Christina's question here. It might be. I think it's just 1 because it wasn't violent conduct.
Yeah, it depends on what the conduct was. So if it's just a denial, it's just a one match. I think if it's something, discourse towards the ref or towards the official or towards another player, or I think even towards fans, I think it's a 2 to 3, possibly 5.
Yeah, it does. Obviously that is going to be different. The 2023 USL Media Guide is not up anywhere. I do have the 2022.
I mean, if David's in the chat, then Absolutely. If you want to chime in and give us some feedback on this, that'd be great.
Yeah, all right. See, major game misconduct. Serving suspension of the regular season. Any player and or coach sent off dismissed during regular season game will be fined and be suspended for the next league regular season game. So there you go. Yeah. So the straight red, again, it wasn't violent conduct, just a hard foul. It should be a 1 match suspension for Sam. If we hear any different, we will let you guys know. That's what I thought it was, but I don't unfortunately keep the media guide up. So yeah, Sam will miss Saturday at Hartford. I think it's going to be an opportunity to see Kyle Colonna on Saturday. Potentially getting another start back there against Hartford, I think might be a good thing for him. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But Orange County, I mean, we could not break down that Orange County defense. Like, we kept pushing forward, which was good, but too many times we get caught just moving the ball around, because what Orange County was doing, we weren't quick enough off the ball, or on and off the ball, I should say, to get guys in behind. We weren't quick enough. We weren't able to break down Orange County, and what they were doing is they were dropping 5-6 guys back every single time because we weren't quick enough in that transition. And so they would drop. And if you watch, it becomes really apparent early in the second half. They're basically sitting 9 to 10 guys in the box, trying to keep us from getting out. And so you can see us trying to play through the middle, look for spots here and there, but we just couldn't get through them. And realistically, I mean, Orange County did a really good job at preventing, Zach Quill's men from getting in there. I mean, Earl, was there anything that you saw that United maybe was just missing on Saturday that they could have taken advantage of?
I mean, I texted you guys in the chat as well. We played a lot of back ball again, which we hadn't seen in 2 to 3 weeks. But I understand the tactic of it. I talked to Lucien a couple years back. I think last year I talked to him to try to get the reason for it. I think his name is Lucien, actually, not Lucien. Sorry. My mispronunciation. Regardless, he explained to me why they do it, to try to get the opposing team on one side of the field to do a deep cross up to the other side and press the play up. It wasn't happening, and that's not going to happen when you have a fast-paced team like Orange County, who have Milan Iloski, they have Tomas Among, they have quick players who can get back into play regardless of where the ball's at. So we kept trying that back play to try to break them down, and it wasn't happening. And then you said it. They had, I think, at 1.6 on the back line is what I counted.
Mm-hmm.
So with us playing man, I mean, we're playing where they're at. That's essentially leaving your 3 people in the back, not counting Alex, an entire empty midfield, and 7 or 8 people up top. That'd be 7 people up top. That's not going to happen. When you're trying to play that back ball, trying to break them down, you're pretty much playing hot potato on who's going back this way, who's going that way. It's not going to work out. So, I mean, unfortunately, I hate to admit it, we got outplayed by Orange County, is what it was. We were the better team. We're the better talented, better skilled team. Our front line is quicker than their back line. We just couldn't get to our front line.
Yeah, we certainly couldn't. We weren't. Again, we weren't quick enough in transition. We couldn't get out ahead. We couldn't, play the ball in behind. I mean, we did lead possession. We did lead in shots, but again, only 2 on target. I mean, you saw guys taking shots from spots that they normally wouldn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw Sam take a shot probably 15, 20 yards out of the box. I mean, we were playing desperate at about the 60th, 65th minute.
Yeah, we did seem to find that extra gear there in the second half, but it wasn't good enough. Again, Orange County basically just sat back as they sat back absorbing that pressure, and they kept clogging those channels. And one thing I kept noting was that if you looked at some of the passes we were trying to make, you could see Brucey trying to make that run in that center channel, like off the shoulder. But that center defense, that CDM was sitting right there, right in the middle of that passing lane. And they just, we could not get the ball into the areas that we really wanted it, through the middle of the pitch. And then, and again, you kept seeing us trying to work it around the outside again. And that's not something that we should be doing, at least not a whole lot of. And it wasn't working well for us on Saturday. And Orange County played a heck of a game. They really did. They basically took everything we threw at them and then some, so credit to Orange County. They were a team that, I was saying last week was kind of Jekyll and Hyde because of the nature of their performances. And they stood up. They played really well defensively. And they, Milan Olaski obviously made it count when he needed to. So, Earl, any closing thoughts on Orange County?
I mean, no, we can beat a dead horse as much as we want to try and make it come alive, but it's not going to happen. That's just how it is. Like I said before, we got outplayed. I was wrong on my prediction by a lot. Mm-hmm. I think you were right on the scoreline, just different outcome.
I think so.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, we could play this back and forth game all night long. But the fact that us talking about it, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't even hurt. It doesn't hurt. We're on a 5-match unbeaten streak. I mean, 5 matches unbeaten with a new head coach. I'm still calling him new. A new head coach against some really good teams. We took out the top team in the league. We took out some decent teams in that run. We even played an English team all in that stretch. So I don't have any fits about it. I mean, it hurt when I watched it. It's expected. You win some, you lose some. You can't win them all. Ask El Paso.
That is very true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, El Paso still has not won since we beat them. They lost again on Saturday by a final of 5-2 to RGV. But yeah, with the way the results shook out after the weekend, we are back down below the playoff line, 1 point out of playoff contention, heading into this weekend's match against Hartford Athletic, the bottom dwelling club in the Eastern Conference. They've won 1 of their last 5 matches. I'm going back to see when they actually won before that. They're coming off of a 5-2 loss to San Antonio. And I mean, they just got thoroughly spanked. I mean, prior to I think you have to go back to May.
So yeah, you say they got thoroughly spanked by San Antonio, which is very true, because on the USL Facebook page, there is and I kind of feel bad for Hartford. I don't remember the guy's name. He had a different name. It's not a weird name. He had a different name. And the caption was, how many goals did he score in the first half? Do you know how many it was?
I'm not even sure what you're referring to. So, okay, 4 goals.
Yeah, so one player scored 4 goals in the first half.
Okay.
So when you say they got spanked, I mean, no, they got their ass whooped.
Oh, you're talking about Oluwasi. Okay.
Is it Oluwasi? I knew it was something weird. It starts with a T and it ends.
Yeah, Oluwasi. He scored. Yeah, so he scored 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half. So, big night for him, obviously. But yeah, it looked to be somewhat competitive in the first half. I mean, 2-2 at the half, and then San Antonio scored 3 more in the final 15 minutes or so of that match. And so, yeah, I mean, Hartford is not. There was some talk about whether or not this is a trap game for United. I mean, and obviously, Hartford has had moments where they look good. Now, they did, of course, dismiss their head coach, Tab Ramos, about a month ago. And so they really haven't been all that impressive this year. Actually, ventured over to their subreddit earlier today to get some food recommendations for when I'm out there this weekend. Got some places that I might go check out. So, but yeah, like they don't seem very enthusiastic about their prospects for the rest of the season. they did just sign a guy. I want to make sure I have his name right. But yeah, I mean, real quick, does this look like a trap game to you? Is this similar to Red Bulls last year, where United really played down to the opposition and put themselves in a position to where they could potentially lose that game?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that we sit back and we watch the video from last year where we played Red Bulls, and we watch it how we played the bottom dwelling team of the league. And we don't play down to that level. I mean, we have the talent to San Antonio them again. Easily.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. Okay, so the Hartford just signed Cuban international Modesto Mendez on a transfer from Inter Miami CF2 of MLS Next Pro defender. 25-year-old who played with Inter Miami while they were in USL League One. So, I mean, I really don't know what sort of chance Hartford has against us this weekend, but I do have that. There is that concern that.
And yeah, I mean, anytime you play a bottom level team, a bottom dwelling team, in any sport, there's always that chance for it to be a trap game. And that's the unfortunate part, but that's also the beautiful part about any sport is you never know. You just don't. So I'm hoping that we don't play this as a trap game and play down to their level and embarrass ourselves, because if we don't handily beat them, that's kind of an embarrassment to the skill that we have.
Yeah, so they're 1-7-2 at home this year. 7
also won 19-85 this year.
Yeah, they're not very good. They're 3-14-4 this year. They're sitting on 13 points. Obviously, they do have a couple familiar names. Elvis Amo is out there. Antoine Hopino is out there as well. So they do have some players, but they're just not. They just don't seem to be together as a club. They don't seem to be performing well. From everything I've watched, they seem disjointed at times. Defensively, they're not very good. They have given up quite a few goals. Let me double check this here. I want to make sure I have my stats correct before I say how many they have conceded. Clean sheets. Okay. They have conceded 46 goals, most allowed in the league. And we're obviously one of the top 10 teams in the league in goals scored. So yeah, I mean, they're just defensively, they're not there. I really don't think they have a chance. Now, obviously, bringing in Mendez is going to help stabilize that back line, but hopefully, how much of a difference for them? Yes. How much of a difference that one player can make? I don't know. I really don't. I don't see Mendez being the guy for Hartford. I don't see him being the one to solidify that and keep them, or even give them a sniff. I think they may actually be close to mathematically eliminated at this point, if not already. I do jest about that a little bit. They do still have 12 matches left to play in the regular season, 13 matches left to play. So yeah, they're still in it mathematically, but I don't like their chances. I don't like what they do.
Hartford has always been one of those teams that you just never know. But that's the thing about it. You never know about Hartford. Last season, they're also one of the bottom dwelling teams, but they played well against top level teams. I do believe they gave San Antonio a run for their money last season. I know they gave Louisville a run for their money last season. And the end scoreline might be different, and it might not show that, but I do believe the first 30, 47 minutes, whatever it was for Louisville, they gave them some fits.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, the East was a lot better last season than they've been so far this year. Hartford finished 10th last season on 36 points, 10 wins, 18 losses. So yeah, they were a good bit better last year. I have a feeling they're going to be down just a little bit in terms of point total from then, but yeah, I just don't see them working their way back up. And I think that we have far too much pace and far too much creativity out of the midfield for Hartford to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, and I hope that we play that way. I hope that we take this match that we just lost, and we carry it on our sleeve. And we go into Hartford and we absolutely punish them.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think we need to see the guys playing with the chip on their shoulder. I mean, that Saturday night at Orange County probably should not have lost that one. Definitely played down a bit in that one. But yeah, I think we did come out strong against Hartford because the following week you got San Antonio. The next couple matches coming up. I mean, San Antonio, San Diego Loyal, Oakland Roots. I mean, you want to have some momentum going into those matches, so to potentially carry you through, because I mean that's a tough 3-match stretch there, particularly coming down to the hunt for the playoffs. I mean, every point really matters at this point. And if you walk into San Antonio at home with a head of steam after a win at Hartford, I think that bodes well for United next week.
Yeah, absolutely. If we go in and hand Hartford the loss that they deserve, and let's just be honest, it's the loss they deserve. I think we walk into San Antonio with our heads a little bit higher than what they're going into Hartford right now with. And then if we can play San Antonio to a draw or even a win, San Diego Loyal is going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, San Diego is going to be interesting. San Antonio is going to be interesting. I think we're looking at maybe getting Bees back for Oakland. That'd be my guess. I think we're still a few weeks away. Some folks are asking about him on the subreddit this past weekend. But yeah, this is going to be pivotal. Walk away with this, get some momentum heading into that tough 3-match stretch. I think it gives us momentum. So again, San Antonio is going to be at home for us, which will be big than San Diego on the road. But yeah, I mean, it's every point matters at this point. The guys need to come out with a chip on the shoulder. They need to play aggressive. They need to get the ball into the area, get opportunities for Brucey and for Jacobo and the other guys, anyone else who plays on Saturday. Give them opportunities to put the ball on frame. We can't be taking shots that don't even threaten the goal. I mean, you got to threaten more. You've got to ask more questions of the keepers. And I think if we do that, United could walk away from this. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say 3-0 on Saturday against Hartford.
I was thinking the same thing. So if we go in there and we play smart and we distribute the ball like we should, I mean, we have Nicky Hernandez, who's really freaking good. If we distribute the ball like we should through the middle to the attack, whether it's to the wings or to Harry or to Brucey in the middle, or if Bruce is even in the middle, regardless of who we're feeding it to from the midfield, we're deadly. We're dangerous. And I'm going to match you on a clean sheet, but I'm going to say 5.
5, okay.
I'm going the old Jacob, in memory of Jacob today, 5-0. With Jacob, if you listen to this tonight, or if you're watching this tonight, or if you listen to this later on the week on your way home back from Santa Fe, we miss you, bud. We do miss you.
All right, so they have a 5-0, 3-0 scoreline predictions for Saturday. I can't wait. I'm excited. This is my first trip out to Hartford. Gonna head out there.
You stay out there.
No, I will be back late Tuesday, so we'll probably do the show Wednesday night next week. But yeah, gonna fly out of here on Friday, spend some time in Pennsylvania, drive up to Hartford on Saturday. I've been given some recommendations as far as some places to eat. So
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear it?
No, you keep your food to yourself.
I don't know. I'm interested in trying some clam pizza, so
I'm interested in punching the mouth for saying that.
All right, Earl, any closing thoughts on Hartford on Saturday?
No, I'm hoping for a win. I'm hoping I'm not terribly off and terribly wrong. And hopefully it's a win. Hopefully it's not a loss or a draw, because then that's just embarrassing. That's really all I got on that one.
I've been told no clam pizza.
Thank God.
I don't know. We'll see about that. We will see about the.
I think you're gonna lose the battle, bro. I'm gonna let you know now. You're gonna lose the battle on clam pizza.
I'm intrigued by the idea of clam pizza. I am. So, but yeah. So Saturday night, New Mexico United versus Hartford, from Trinity Health Stadium. I believe that match is set for
5:30.
5:30. That is correct. 5:30. No, 5 o'clock. I apologize. 5 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. You have been thanked for agreeing. So, yeah, 5 o'clock Saturday, ESPN Plus, ESPN Radio 117 The Team. You can catch the match. Obviously, we'll have the podcast up before then. I will have a preview over on ESPN 117 The Team's website. You can check that out later this week. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. I can't wait to get out of town, spend a few days out of here, spend a few days with my girlfriend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll be back on Tuesday, late Tuesday night. So podcast next Wednesday. We'll talk about Hartford. We'll talk about San Antonio next week at home. I know we've got some folks traveling up. Harry and Robert, if you're in the chat, hopefully we get to see you guys next weekend.
And hit me up. I know you guys listen to this, so you guys hit me up. I will be at the match with my fiance, and I call her my bonus daughter, but she's pretty much my daughter at this point. And her cousin, Marlena's nephew. So definitely hit me up. Definitely want to talk to you guys. I won't be drinking a beer with you guys because I will have my media pass.
That's right, Earl. No alcohol while you're on the clock.
And as a working member of the media team, I cannot indulge in the alcoholic beverages, even though I don't even do it, regardless of media membership or not.
You can always drink before the game.
I don't even drink, dude.
I know you don't. You have put a stop to the drinking, which, you know, kudos to you for that.
That was a trap. You know she's listening, and that's why you said it. And you, sir, are a jerk.
With that, Christina, Jane, thank you both so much for being in the chat this evening. For everyone else listening on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you may be listening to the podcast feed later this week, we do appreciate each and every one of you. So again, next week, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, we will be back to break down Hartford, look ahead to San Antonio. So until then, Somos Unidos.